afternoon. With me in the studio is the American composer Lowell Liebermann, and a good afternoon to you, Lowell.
Good afternoon.
It's been about 10 years. I had Lowell in the studio with me in Dallas when the Dallas Symphony was premiering his Symphony No. 2. Lowell was a composer in residence for the Dallas Symphony Orchestra for like a year, wasn't it?
Actually 4.5 years.
Right, it's a longer time, celebrating their 100th birthday and all of that.
Yeah.
And turned out a lot of great music. And I was at the premiere of his second symphony in Dallas, and I'm planning to be at the premiere of your third symphony. How did this commission come about?
This was through a project of Meet the Composer, and it's a consortium of three orchestras that have commissioned the symphony. Virginia is the first orchestra that's doing it, and next season it'll be done by Nashville and the Marin Orchestra.
In California?
Yes.
Oh, excellent. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So this commission came about, and I understand that you wrote this work earlier this year when there were some very bad things going on.
Yeah. You know, my music is. People ask me all the time, "What is this piece about? What is your music about?" And I usually respond, "It's about the notes. It's not about anything extra musical or programmatic or political engagement or anything like that." However, one of the things I find with my music is that it seems to becoming more and more affected by outside events, and the piece is not necessarily about those things, but the emotional climate that I'm writing under is kind of colored by this. So yeah, most of this piece was written right after and during the BP oil spill and the Nashville flood, which of course brought back memories of the whole Katrina disaster, and the horrific response to that.
Right.
I think a lot of this piece is kind of fueled by equal parts of anger and depression and whatnot of things that are just going on today.
Right. So how long is this work?
It's about a 22-minute piece. Not to say that it's a totally downer of a piece.
No, I wouldn't expect it would be.
In fact, I went to my first rehearsal that I heard this morning, and Joann and a lot of the players were saying how much they were enjoying the music, which is always very gratifying for me to hear.
Sure.
Yeah.
You don't want to hear they're not enjoying it.
No, you never want to hear that. But sometimes people tell you that.
Right, they can be brutally honest. That's right. Composer Lowell Liebermann here in the studio with me. We're talking about his third symphony. You also have a connection with the cellist who's appearing on this program. I'm doing Haydn, I believe, Haydn C major, Julian Schwartz, who's the son of Gerard Schwartz.
Right, I just actually performed with him this summer at the Cape Cod Music Festival. We did my second trio together. And actually, his father premiered my first symphony.
Right.
So it's all, it's a small musical world, and it all gets tied up together.
The first symphony, this is 1980s work, right? Early 1980s?
Early, very good.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I finished it, I think, 82, something like that.
Right.
One of the first works I wrote as a beginning student at Juilliard.
And if you compare the first, your second, and your third, how does the comparison go? Are they all very different from each other?
Not entirely. I mean, I think actually my music's been fairly stylistically consistent. I mean, there are definitely different kind of periods where a certain thing interests me more than another thing.
Right.
And so you see kind of slight differences. Maybe I'll bring in certain techniques, but I think, my music is always melodically based.
Right.
To me, that's very important. I mean, to me, a good tune is important.
Well, sure, and a lot of composers use rhythm as a basis for composition,
right.
and leaves melodies sort of out, or
Well, I think it needs to have everything.
Right.
And but no, they are different pieces. The first symphony is a big 45-minute piece. The second symphony is a big 35-minute piece with orchestra and extra brass and the
chorus.
Kitchen sink and chorus.
Right.
And this piece is a much more compact piece. It's in one movement, about 22 minutes. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. It's difficult for me to put into words what I intended with the piece, because to a certain extent it is about notes, and if I could describe it in words, I wouldn't have to write the music.
Right.
You know.
What do you listen to when you're not composing?
I don't listen to a lot of music. I mean, I'm not one of these people who has music going all the time, because it's what I do when I'm working.
Right.
And when I'm not composing, when I'm not practicing someone else's music, and the practicing does take the place of a lot of listening.
Sure.
My ear needs rest. I need to get my mind away from the music at times. But, when I just want to sit down and listen to something for the pleasure of it, I will often turn to Schubert or Mozart or, I don't know,